Yes, guys, welcome to a brand new live stream. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about the diet that is so easy to follow. A 5-year-old could do it. So, a lot of you guys are complaining about figuring out what the best diet is. I want to lose weight. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how often to eat. I don't know how to do any of these things. And I totally get it. Especially on social media nowadays, there is so much information out there, and some of it can be conflicting, right? Because you may follow one person and this one person tells you to eat this certain way, whereas the other person will tell you the exact opposite way. But then at the same time, they both look really, really good. And it's like, well, okay, well, both of you are saying completely different things, but both of you look incredibly insane in terms of the physique, the health, all these things. So who do I actually follow? Do I follow the vegan people? Do I follow the paleo people, the carnivore people, the keto people? Who do I follow, right? So that is why I want to make this video, because most people think losing weight is always about eating clean or cutting carbs or cutting fats or eliminating food groups from your diet. But the truth is, and I want to go way, way, way back, because I think it's really important to go back to your childhood, because your entire relationship with food was ruined before you even turned 10. You were fed a high carb, high sugar diet that trained your body and your taste buds to crave snacks every 2 hours. And now, as an adult, you are wondering why you can't stop eating every 1 or 2 hours, right? So, this diet that I'm about to share with you, the Barbarian diet, the one that I follow, the one that I give to all my clients, it is so simple that a 5-year-old could follow it. But it's also the exact same system that I use personally to get down to, and then also being able to maintain single digit body fat percentage year round without really trying that hard, to be honest. And it's also, like I said, what we teach our clients to help them drop 20 to 30, all the way up to 50 pounds without really sacrificing your favorite foods or spending hours in the gym. So, like I said, I've coached hundreds of men who used to live off sugary cereals, energy drinks, and takeouts. They were tired, overweight, and thought they had slow metabolisms. But once they followed this pattern, right, this eating pattern, when they were truly hungry, prioritizing real food and cutting out the modern food noise, everything changed for them. So in this video, I'll break down 3 specific things. So number 1, how your childhood diet destroyed your metabolism. Number 2, the science behind why eating all day makes you fat. And then lastly, how the Barbarian diet fixes all of that. And more importantly, how you can actually start implementing this and starting this as of today. So as soon as you're done watching this live call, as soon as you're done watching this video, you can start implementing this right away. Because like I said, this is so simple. This is so easy. A 5-year-old could follow it. So let's start with part 1. How your childhood diet destroyed your metabolism. It all starts with marketing. For decades, breakfast companies spent billions of dollars convincing you and your parents that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And what did they feed you? A big old bowl of sugary coated cereal, of pure carbs, pure sugar with absolutely no protein and all the fiber stripped away from it, leaving you feeling very unsatiated and, unfortunately, hungrier afterwards. Like, as soon as you're done eating a bowl of cereal, it's not like it really satisfies you. It's not like, oh my goodness, that hit this spot. I feel fueled up. I feel ready to go. I feel like I can attack today. Like, no, you feel hungrier. So you're likely going to have another bowl of sugary cereal. And one of the things I used to do actually as a kid was that I would pour in the cereal first, and then I'd pour in the milk. If you pour in the milk first and then the cereal, you're a maniac. You're a psychopath. I don't even know who you are. But what I would do is I would eat the first bowl, and then I'd have the first bowl. And then as soon as I was done eating the cereal, I noticed that there was still some milk left over. And now, yes, sometimes maybe 2 out of 7 days of the week, I would just slurp the milk and then carry on with my day, feeling really hungry and stuff. But sometimes, I mean, most of the time, I would actually just pour in seconds because I did not want to waste the milk, right? So I'd have another bowl of sugary cereal, and that left me feeling even hungrier, right? And so you'd start your day with this big sugar bomb, basically. Now, that first meal when you start your day spiked your blood sugar through the roof, which meant by maybe 10 a.m., 11 a.m., you'd crash feeling tired, hungry, and irritable. So, guess what you would do from there? You'd eat more food, right? You'd reach for a muffin or those cute little granola bars that they feed you in the classroom, which were likely made by the exact same breakfast company. Not to name names, but a couple that come to mind, maybe General Mills, Kellogg's, just all these like breakfast companies that tell you that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but then they also have these small little snacks that they give you because they know very well that, hey, if you start your day with a sugary bowl of cereal, you're likely going to want to eat again a couple hours later another sugary granola bar or a muffin, right? Then when lunch came around, you go for something quick, right? Because you only had around 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. So you couldn't just have like this proper sit down meal. Like you needed to grab something quick on the go, right? So oftentimes that will mean a quick sandwich, a quick burger, maybe get some fries, get some chips on the side, and to wash it all down. Who needs water when sodas exist? You wash it all down with another sugary drink, liquid calories that doesn't fill you up whatsoever. And then you'd crash in the afternoon once again. So you'd grab caffeine and even more sugar to get you through the rest of the day. And to wrap up a productive, successful day at work or at school, you order takeout because by then you are way too exhausted to cook from eating all this sugary foods and your mental capacity is super low. Just you're drained, your energy is low. So why would you cook food when you can just order something, order a pizza, order some takeouts because it's convenient, it's easy, and you just need something quick. Because by then you're way too exhausted to cook, right? So that right there is the modern diet. You eat, you spike, you crash, you snack, you repeat. But it's not your fault. You were trained from childhood to need to eat every 2 to 3 hours, not because your body needed it, but because your brain got addicted to these dopamine spikes from sugar. But then also, more importantly, and there's been so many studies shown that we crave the foods we eat, but then also we tend to get hungriest whenever we eat during a certain time frame, right? So if you're used to eating breakfast and then at 10 a.m. and then at 12 p.m. and then at 2 p.m. and then at 4 p.m. and then at 6 p.m., your body is going to naturally start craving food, getting hungry at those times. So from a really young age, you've kind of taught your body to not only eat all these hyper palatable processed foods, but you're also taught to eat very consistently, like every 2 or 3 hours. So you're constantly going to be hungry during that time because your body is really smart. Like if it knows that, hey, John eats every 2 to 3 hours, it's like, okay, let's make John hungry every 2 to 3 hours. So your body adapts to not only the food you eat, but then also to how often you eat, your meal frequency, how many meals you eat throughout the day. So I noticed when I kind of transitioned from eating 6 very small meals throughout the day to now I only eat around 2 to 3 meals throughout the day, that I am not really that hungry throughout the day because I have taught my body to not crave food all throughout the day, constantly thinking about food, constantly eating food. And I just think eating is such, I'm going to touch on this in this entire video, but like eating, like it's a distraction. Like your metabolism has to work a lot harder and you're just constantly thinking about it. You got to prepare it a lot more. And it's just like a big inconvenience. Whereas if you just simplify your eating habits and only eat a couple of times throughout the day, not multiple times throughout the day, you can actually focus on living life, doing more work, being more present with your friends, with your family, with your workers, making more money, being more productive, all these other things. So that'll lead me on to part number 2, the science why eating all day makes you fat. So when you eat constantly, your body never gives insulin a break. And insulin's like the main job of insulin is to store fat. So if you're grazing all day, your body stays in this storage mode 24/7. You never actually give it a chance or a break to burn fat because you're always topping it with glucose, always topping it, always topping it, always topping it. So your body never has this chance to like really just chill and relax. And studies have shown that people who eat fewer meals and focus on whole foods have better insulin sensitivity, lower hunger hormones, specifically ghrelin, which makes you just always hungry and makes you always want to eat, and also improved fat oxidation. That is why intermittent fasting works. Not because it's magic. Like, don't get me wrong. You can be very successful on your weight loss journey, on your fat loss journey, on any diet by not intermittent fasting. And all that intermittent fasting does, hopefully, if you guys watch my channel, you guys know this, but I talk about this very frequently. I do not tell anyone that you have to intermittent fast because at the end of the day, calories in versus calories out still applies. You could, and all intermittent fasting really is, it just means that you're delaying your breakfast, right? Breakfast literally means breaking the fast. And so you get to choose when you break your fast. But just most people, especially when they follow the modern diet, they break their fast first thing in the morning as soon as they wake up. Because you have taught your body, you've been manipulated, you've been marketed that you need to start your day with breakfast. If you don't eat breakfast right away, your metabolism will slow down, you're going to crash, you're going to burn, you're going to do all these horrible things to your body. But you are literally fasting when you sleep. You're fasting for 8 hours when you sleep, right? Because you're not eating anything, you're not drinking anything when you sleep. So you are capable of going without food for hopefully at least 8 hours. Hopefully you get 8 hours of sleep in. So what is the harm of waiting a bit more once you wake up to actually break your fast? There's absolutely no harm in that. So the biggest thing here is just listen to your body, listen to your hunger cues, and just eat then. So for myself right now, I rarely get hungry first thing in the morning because yes, I have adapted kind of my hunger cues, my taste buds, all these things, but I start my day bright and early. I drink a ton of water, and a lot of you guys watching this don't even do the basics. You start your day and you immediately go into your pantry and pour your cereal bowl without even drinking water first. And so often I tell this to my clients all the time, but you're not actually hungry. You're just dehydrated. You're thirsty. So before you even think about putting food into your body, put hydration in your body first. Drink 2 glasses of water first. So I start my day bright and early, chugging down 1 whole liter of water. And now, even if I were to be slightly hungry first thing in the morning, 10 times out of 10, after I drink my liter of water with my supplements, the hunger just disappears. It diminishes. So like I said, we often mistake hunger for dehydration. So whenever you think about eating, stop, relax, take a deep breath. You're going to be fine. You're going to be good. And drink some water first. And I guarantee you, you're not going to be as hungry. Now, if you're still hungry and you insist on eating, then sure, by all means, do it. But just know that that is a really important habit that you can start hopefully implementing right away. Now, on top of that, I add my electrolytes in that as well. And then I'll move my body. I'll do my morning cardio on the treadmill, elliptical stairmaster. Right now it's winter because it's slightly cold outside, but yeah, during the summer months, I like to go outside, go on a run, whatever it may be. But going back to intermittent fasting, it is not magic. It's just a eating pattern, but because it gives your body time to digest, reset, and also use stored fat for energy instead of more sugar. That is why I like to do it. I'm not hungry first thing in the morning. It works for me, but we have numerous successful clients inside of our program who want to eat first thing in the morning. And that's totally fine because they still drink their water first thing and they don't eat as much after drinking their water, essentially. So let's move on to part number 3. Here's how to actually fix it. So here's what we do inside the Barbarian Physique program. We simplify everything down to 3 core principles. Starting with number 1, eat when you're actually hungry and not when the clock tells you. If you're not hungry in the morning, don't force yourself to eat. If you're not hungry at a certain time, don't force yourself to eat. And especially in this working environment or in the school environment, in this system, there's obviously recess, or there's like a 15-minute coffee break, there's a lunch break. So the workplace sometimes tells us when we should be eating, right? And now by all means you can do that, but just know that you don't have to do that. Like, just because you have a lunch break does not mean that you have to eat during a lunch break. Now, sure, yes, it'll be a lot more convenient for you to eat during the lunch break as opposed to during work. But yeah, just know that you don't have to necessarily follow the clock. Just listen to your hunger cues. So in that situation, if you're really not hungry during a lunch break, maybe have a small little snack, whether it's beef jerky, protein bar, protein shake, that you can just have while you're working, essentially. So if you're not hungry in the morning, just don't eat. Delay your breakfast, drink some black coffee if you want, drink some water, electrolytes, and your hunger hormones will stabilize after a few days. It can be difficult to delay your breakfast if you've never really done that before because, yeah, all of our life, we've pretty much been taught to eat right away. And switching from eating right away to maybe not eating right away, delaying your breakfast by maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours upon waking can be slightly difficult. But I guarantee you, your hunger cues or hunger hormones, also more importantly, will stabilize after simply just a few days of doing that. Like your body adapts very, very quickly to that. Point number two, only eat whole foods. Going back to how this diet is so simple, a 5-year-old could follow it. Delay your breakfast by a bit, have some water, have some electrolytes, have some black coffee. And then when you do decide to eat only whole foods. Fruits, veggies, meat, eggs, and healthy fats. No packaged snacks, no sugary drinks, no fast food. When you eat real food, your body naturally regulates calories. So if you really wanted to, which I don't always recommend, but if you insist, you won't even have to track your calories if you're just starting out. Now, I do recommend most of you guys to track your calories, especially our clients, if you are looking for consistent, reliable results, because we cannot always rely on our hunger cues and all these other things because sometimes it's not going to be super accurate. Like if you were to simply just rely on your hunger cues and eat whenever you're hungry, for some people who are prone to eating a lot will likely go over their calorie goal, for example. Whereas other people will undereat by a lot if you were to simply just go by your hunger cues. And so that is why I think it's a good idea for most people starting out to actually keep track and monitor your calorie intake. Number one, just so you're food aware, knowing exactly that, okay, all these meals, all these foods that I just ate equated to roughly 2,000 calories, 2,500 calories, 3,000 calories, whatever it may be. So at the very least, now you know that whatever food you're putting into your body, you know exactly how many calories you're consuming. And then you can also see how your weight fluctuates. So if I know if I'm eating roughly this amount of food, this amount of calories, and this is what it does to my weight, okay, this is important information for me to know. So now knowing that if I put this amount of energy into my body, this is how my weight fluctuates, I can make adjustments. If I'm happy with my weight loss progress, I can just keep on doing what I'm doing. But if I hit a plateau or if I'm actually gaining weight, I know I can just pull back on the food, right? So eat whole foods, but then also keep track of them. But the reason why I really want you to prioritize whole foods is because they'll keep you fuller for longer. You won't have all these weird little cravings. You won't feel the need to eat every 2 hours because the foods are going to be a lot more filling, a lot more satiating, especially if you eat more fruits, more vegetables, more lean sources of protein, because you're going to have a lot more fiber within your diet, which will keep you full, and also a lot more protein, which keeps you super full as well, because it takes a bit longer for your body to break down and digest. On top of that, too, protein is great because it helps you build more muscle. So that is why eating whole foods is far better than eating processed junk food all the time. You'll be less hungry and you'll just have an easier time sticking to your daily calorie goals, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Now, the last point here is eat 2 to 3 meals and not 6. Because when you stop grazing, you allow your digestive system and insulin levels to reset. You'll have more energy, you'll have better focus, and actual fat loss without starving yourself. I've had clients drop 20, 30, even 50 pounds following this exact system, and some of them don't even count a single calorie. Like I said, I want most of them to, but when they're traveling, when they're busy for work, they've gained the knowledge, they've gained the habits so that they don't have to track their food every single day. because they can make smarter food choices. They are more mindful with their food intake. And especially, like I guarantee, like small little challenge here. Don't track your food, just eat healthy. Eat whole foods. And honestly, just watch your weights drop without even having to count your calories just by simply changing the food you eat. Because like I said, the whole foods that you're going to be eating now are going to keep you fuller, which means you're going to be eating less, which means you're going to be losing weight, naturally speaking. So small little challenge for you there. Now take my client Reagan, for example. Before he joined the program, he was eating 5 to 6 times a day, always hungry, always looking forward to his next meal. And he was always tired as well. And he couldn't drop below 200 pounds. He kind of hit this plateau. Now, once he switched to the Barbarian diet, eating 3 large, high protein meals and maybe one optional snack here and there, he actually lost weight down to 40 pounds now, gained more energy, and finally felt in control again. So, to conclude this live stream, no, you do not need another meal plan. You do not need another app or another fat burning hack. You just need to stop eating like a kid and start eating like an adult, like a barbarian. Now, if you want to learn the exact system on how we do this, you can watch my full video on how we help busy men drop 30 to 50 pounds, all without giving up their favorite foods or spending hours in the gym. The link will be in the description down below. And if you're ready to start consuming all this free content, all this free information, and actually start implementing and get some life-changing, lasting results and get your edge back, you can book a free fitness consultation with me down below, or where we will essentially go over your current goals. We'll see exactly how much weight you're looking to lose. We'll look at your current struggles. We'll see exactly what's holding you back. And we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next 3 to 6 months. Because your childhood habits may have made you soft, but this is your chance to reclaim your discipline once again.